James 1:14-15. Temptation comes from our own desires, which entice us and drag us away. These desires give birth to sinful actions, and when sin is allowed to grow, it gives birth to death. Matthew 18:7. What sorrow awaits the world because it tempts people to sin. Temptations are inevitable, but what sorrows awaits the person who does the tempting. 1 Corinthians 10, verses 12-13. If you think you are standing strong, be careful not to fall. The temptations in your life are no different from what others experience. And God is faithful. He will not allow the temptations to be more than you can stand. When you are tempted, He will show you a way out so that you can endure. Hi, welcome to Building Bridges. My name is Joe. As you can see, today's topic is going to be temptation, but the emphasis is on how God gives that opportunity, gives us a chance to get away from temptation or to not fall for temptation. Okay? One of the ways that He does this is that He is giving us the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit is in us, is that little voice in your head when you're doing something that is questionable, and you have that feeling of, should I do this or should I not do that? And that's what temptation is. Temptation is you're looking at something in a way that you shouldn't be looking at it. Like, boy, it's a really nice car over there. I'd like to have it as my own. And you act in on that and you go and steal the car. That's falling for our temptation, okay? But we have that in our brain. We have the Holy Spirit in our mind saying, that's not yours. Don't steal it. You can look at it, but it's not yours. Walk away from it. And that's the chance that we have. That's our opportunity to make the choice of listening to our conscience and walk away from the situation, or say, it's all right. It's not that big of a, I'll pay the price for it. Okay? And that's what James tells us is that, that leads to death when we fall for the sin and we take that temptation. Okay? The other thing that God does is, at least that I've experienced in my life, is that, if you're focusing on something that you shouldn't be focusing on, and that could be, like I said, stealing a car that looks pretty, or having bad thoughts about a person, or arguing with somebody and you're not even there arguing, you're just having these angry thoughts about that person. In my situations, I've run into that a few times, and that festers and you start falling to that. And I'm a car guy. I like cars. And it doesn't matter what kind of car it is, I just like cars. And it always seems like this crazy, neat car would drive by, and that's my distraction. That's my moment of, hey, pay attention. Let's get back on track to where we should be focusing, and not on the negativeness in our lives. You know what I mean? And brings us brings us away from the temptation. So I don't know how many people have had that experiences of you know, you're doing something and you're being tempted by whatever that temptation would be, and out of the blue something strange happens. You get a phone call from somebody that you weren't expecting to do, or you get that like a hiccup kind of effect where it causes you to stop, refocus on something different, or breaks that concentration on that temptation and draws you away from it. We are the ones that have that choice. We have that choice of falling for that or stepping away. So I guess that was my focus for the message today, is that, 1 Corinthians 10, 12 and 13 are an important verse to us to remember. And God always does give us a way out, however way that out is. But we got to be willing to listen to that out, or see that out, or step forward into that out, rather than fall for the temptation that we have in front of us. And that is the big message for me for today. I appreciate you guys watching it, and thank you, and have a good day.